Alrighty, yo, what's just going on, everybody? It's your boy, Mr. DDG94 here, back with another reaction video. Got a question for you. Do you remember the year 2000? I remember the year 2000. Good times. Good times. Oh, man. 2000 felt like a fever dream, bro. It really did. 2000 didn't feel real. It felt like a fever dream. That and 2001, both them 2 years felt like fever dreams. By 2002, the mood kind of died because 9/11 happened. But aside from that, though, the first 2 years of the 2000s, bro, them shits was magical, bro, for real. Like, like it just felt different. Like the 90s was kind of feeling like the standard, and then 2000 came and everything changed. Everything. But yeah, man, without further ado, let's get right into it. What the hell? Oh shit, my bad.
And we're going to count it down from here down when we get to 10. Are you ready? Happy New Year early. In 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Happy 2000!
2000 was a pretty eventful and crazy year from start to finish, filled with many pop culture moments that we will never forget. As we said goodbye to the 20th century, many were excited yet skeptical for what the new millennium would bring. 2000 was the start of the 2000s decade, or the Y2K era as many people like to often refer to it as, making it the true last year before things drastically changed for the worst. I feel like the year 2000 often gets forgotten and overlooked, as this year just felt like a continuation of the 1990s, with not too many notable.
It didn't. It felt like it was a changing of the guard in this year. It felt like a change was happening this year. 2000s felt like a fever dream. Like the beginning of it, it felt like we were still trapped in the 90s, but midway through it, bro, something changed. Something drastically changed.
Changes. Throughout the year, we witnessed a wide variety of major pop culture moments that really set the tone for the rest of the decade, including larger-than-life blockbusters, breakout musical stars, political scandals, celebrity gossip, iconic TV series, as well as some cool new advances in technology. I turned 5 this year and started kindergarten, so I somewhat remember this year in real time, even though I was.
So I mean, you like a year younger than me, because I was sick. I was in the first grade around this time. I was 6 in the first grade.
Super young. As of making this video, the year 2000 was 25 years ago, making it already a quarter of a century, which is just crazy to me how fast time is flying. So I thought it would be fun to take a look back at one of the most overlooked and forgotten years of the early 2000s, and to see what life was like this year. Like I said earlier, this year feels somewhat forgotten as many people tend to overlook it when discussing the 2000s decade as a whole. I feel like this was a pretty normal year where nothing too crazy or out of the ordinary happened. 2000 was really the oddball year as we were just coming out of the 90s, and just a year before a major life-changing event took place, making this year feel somewhat sandwiched in between the chaos. I like to call this year 1999 2.0, as it was pretty much a repeat of that year with many trends still lingering around. In sports, the New York Yankees won 4-1 over the New York Mets at the World Series, with Derek Jeter as the series MVP, while the LA Lakers won their first NBA title in 12 years, defeating the Indians.
RP to the Bean, RP to the Mamba, man. I remember this, man. It's good times, good times. Hopefully that's what happens later on today. The Indiana Pacers lose. Hopefully that's what happens.
Indiana Pacers 4-2. Tiger Woods was at the height of his career this year as he won the US Open, the British Open, and the PGA Championship, making him the first golfer since Ben Hogan in 1953 to win 3 majors in a calendar year. The 2000 Summer Olympics took place in Sydney, Australia, where the United States won the most medals with 97 and the most gold medals with 40. Some of the big winners included Ian Thorpe, Leontine Morsel, Alexei Nemov, Jenny Thompson, and Bridget McMahon, as well as many others. Y'all, please be nice to me in the comments, as I know I probably butchered these names, but you know what? That's okay. That's okay. I'm not the best at pronunciating names that I don't recognize, but I'm trying. I'm really trying. Please just be nice with me in the comments, but either or, I just know the people in the comments are gonna come for me. Technology this year.
You forgot Vince Carter jumping over that 7-foot dude, bro. That's the most iconic thing from that Olympics, bro. Was Vince Carter jumping over a 7-foot nigga, bro. That's crazy. 6'6" jumping over a 7-foot nigga. Yeah, Vince Carter was different, bro.
Was still stuck in the 90s as clunky mobile phones, dial-up internet, and personal digital assistants were still very popular. While email was becoming more common, face-to-face communication, fax machines, and physical letters still played a significant role in our everyday lives. This year, we saw the launch of Windows ME, the release of Windows 2000, the Nokia 3310 cell phone, and the release of the PlayStation 2, which, speaking of, due to many shortages, the PlayStation 2 sold out in many retail stores with people selling them on eBay for over $1,000, making it the most popular.
I didn't get mine till Christmas. I didn't get mine till Christmas of this year. 2000. I didn't get mine till Christmas of 2000. The year 2000, I finally got my PlayStation 2, boy. Oh, that shit felt good, nigga. That shit felt so good, nigga. Bruh, the 2000s, bro. When I first got my PSP, bro, the fat PSP, bro, the fat PSP, hey. Oh man, I remember the first games I had on that motherfucker. I had NBA hoops with like Shaq on the cover. It's like a NBA Jam ripoff. It was like an NBA Jam clone, but it was the one made by Midway, not the one made by Acclaim. Fuck Acclaim. I think I had what else did I have? I had that. I think what else did I have? I know I had some other games too. I had WWF SmackDown Just Bring It. I had that bullshit. I had NBA Live on one. I had something else too, but I don't remember. I had something else though. Oh man. But yeah, I remember getting mine for Christmas, bro. Yeah. I had only 3 games. I think I had like 4 games. I can't remember what the 4th game was. It was some random ass game. I think I had a demo disc too, because mine came with a demo disc. I played the shit out that demo disc until my brother tried to steal it, then he broke it. Kicked his motherfucking ass.
And highest selling gaming console of the year. Remember when people used to use eBay back in the day?
Why is this game worth waiting up all night?
Because it's the entertainment system of the future. Not only does it play video games, DVD movies, CDs, but it connects to the internet. And we all know the internet is now in forever.
Some of the most popular video games that were released this year included Madden 2001, The Legend of Zelda, Majora's Mask, Final Fantasy IX, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2, NBA 2K1, WWF SmackDown 2, Know Your Role, Diablo 2, Spyro, Year of the Dragon, and the first installment of The Sims, as well as many others. Throughout the year, there were several major celebrity moments that had everyone in a chokehold from January to December. At this year's Oscars, Billy Crystal hosted the show for a 7th time, where 47 million people tuned in, making it one of the most watched Oscars ceremonies ever. American Beauty won 5 awards, including Best Picture, while The Matrix won 4 awards that night. Other major winners included Sam Mendes, Hilary Swank, Kevin Spacey, or as I like to call him, he who shall not be named, Michael Caine, and Angelina Jolie, as well as many others. At this year's Grammys, we saw a wide variety of artists win many awards in multiple different categories. Some of the big winners of the night included the Red Hot Chili Peppers, Sarah McLachlan, the Dixie Chicks, Whitney Houston, Cher, Sting, and Christina Aguilera, amongst many others. R&B girl group TLC were nominated for 8 awards, winning 3, including Best R&B Album, Best R&B Song, and Best R&B Performance by a duo or group with vocals, while Carlos Santana tied Michael Jackson's record for most awards won in a single night. Santana's comeback album Supernatural was awarded a total of 9 awards, including Record of the Year, Song of the Year, and Album of the Year. And this just goes to show you that age is nothing but a number. Perhaps the most talked about moment of the night was J-Lo wearing her now iconic green Versace dress.
I know she a fraud. I know Jennifer Lopez is a fraud, but we gotta say it.
Lord have mercy.
We must stay focused, brothers. We must stay focused. A lie. Get all the dick, all the schmeat. Get all the schmeat.
You's a freaky ass nigga.
Dress became one of the most searched things on the internet this year and was later cited as the main reason why Google Images was created. You just had to be there. Speaking of fashion, now enjoy these random red carpet looks from this year. Many Gen Z stars were born this year, including Kaby Lame, Ice Spice, Yara Shahidi, Addison Rae,
Man, we don't care about these niggas.
Joshua Bassett, Halle Bailey, Ollie Cravalho, Jace Norman, Krishan Rock, Renee Rapp, and Willow Smith, as well as many others. We also said goodbye to many legends this year, including Heidi Lamar, Alec Guinness, Big Pun, Claire Trevor, Tom Landry, Jim Varney, Yokozuna, Steve Allen, Billy Party, and Charles Schultz, as well as many others. After 15 years, Kathy Lee Gifford left the Live with Regis and Kathy show, while Angelina Jolie kissed her brother on the lips at this year's Golden Globes, which was very, como se dice a choice. Carson Daly and Tara Reid announced their engagement. Brad Pitt and Jennifer Aniston got married, making them the hottest couple of the year. Oprah published her magazine. Metallica sued Napster for copyright infringement. U2 had a major return with their hit single Beautiful Day. Julia Roberts was named one of People's 50 most beautiful people in the world. Brad Pitt was
That's a goddamn law.
Named People's Sexiest Man Alive, and we witnessed the presidential election between Al Gore and George W. Bush, amongst many other things. There was actually a recount in the state of Florida, where it led to the Supreme Court stepping in and deciding who won the election, which Bush would go on to later win. The biggest pop culture moment of the year was the whole Y2K scare that brought mass panic and hysteria to millions worldwide.
Doug, everyone here is waiting for the same thing, the stroke of midnight.
Oh no, it's happening.
For those who don't know or are too young to remember, the Y2K panic was basically when many people believed that the computer systems would be enabled to distinguish dates correctly with the potential to bring down worldwide infrastructures once the clock struck 12 a.m. on January 1st. Basically, an apocalypse of some sorts where people thought the world was going to end, aka elevators, airplanes, cell phone towers, internet routers, and more all shutting down at the same time, which is just so funny to me. Leading up to New Year's night, many people were stocking up on various items including canned goods, water bottles, batteries, soap, candles, toilet paper, and
wasted all y'all goddamn money for no reason. But boy, did y'all make them companies rich as fuck.
Many more as they were preparing for the unknown as we were entering a new millennium. And to no one's surprise, nothing happened. Just another normal day in the office. Looking back, it's just so crazy to see how many people bought into this idea that the world was coming to an end simply because of what the media outlets were saying at the time. Despite being a pretty big deal at the time, the hysteria surrounding the Y2K scare had completely faded away over time, becoming a dated phenomenon that never happened.
People out there that I've talked to that said, there's nothing going to happen. What are you basing that on? Nobody knows. No one.
The year 2000 was a pretty memorable, eventful, and iconic year for the film industry.
Yes,
this
sir.
was honestly a pretty stacked year from start to finish, with some very notable films that are still referenced today. Throughout the year, we witnessed the release of many unique film franchises in a variety of genres, including superhero flicks,
Yes,
action
sir.
adventures, sci-fi, romantic comedies, suspense, and animation, as well as many others. One genre that really stood out this year was the action-adventure genre, mostly due to the
Hey, this, I ain't gonna lie. Outside of hood movies, this is one of my favorite movies to go back and watch. As psychotic and as crazy as it is, and you wouldn't think I would be somebody that's into this type of stuff because I'm not. But I just love the acting in this movie. The acting in this movie is phenomenal, bro. I love this movie, bro. I love American Psycho. That's what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to say the word. It's like, what's that word again? I gotta think of the word. Oh my god, I love this movie though. I love this movie.
release of Gladiator.
Christian
Being
Bale
an epic
did his thing in
historical
that
drama, Gladiator easily became one of the most popular and anticipated film releases of the year, with a budget
Gladiator was okay. Gladiator was okay. Wasn't for me, but it was okay.
of $110 million, it brought in a total of $465 million, making it the second highest grossing film of the year. Gladiator starred many major household names including Russell Crowe, Joaquin Phoenix, Connie Nielsen, Oliver Reed, Derek Jacobi, Jimon Hanzu, and Richard Harris, amongst many others. Russell Crowe was the standout actor in this film as he portrayed Maximus Decimus Meritus, a Roman general who later becomes a gladiator after gaining vengeance against a corrupt emperor who murdered his family and sent him into slavery. Gladiator was praised by critics and fans for its impressive storytelling, acting, character development, visual effects, costume design, original score, and art direction, making it the film to see that year. It's also credited as the film that helped bring back the epic film genre to mainstream audiences. Russell Crowe was praised by fans and critics for his acting abilities, with many citing this role as his best acting performance of his entire career. Upon its release, it received favorable reviews, multiple Academy Awards, a 2024 sequel, and is considered to be one of the best and most influential films of the 21st century so far.
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained? Is this not why you are here?
Due to his over-the-top physical comedy and timing, Jim Carrey quickly became one of the biggest breakout stars of the 90s, where he starred in several iconic roles in many films and TV shows. This man was just everywhere back then and showed no signs of slowing down as he scored his next major role starring in the Dr. Seuss classic, How the Grinch Stole Christmas, as the titular character the Grinch. Based on the Dr. Seuss novel of the same name, How the Grinch Stole Christmas is a live
I ain't gonna lie, I don't like this movie. I don't like this. I never did. And it's not because the Grinch was kind of like scary looking in this movie. It wasn't that at all. It's just I didn't like it.
action Christmas fantasy comedy released just in time for the holiday season later that year. The story revolves around the Grinch, a grumpy green reclusive living creature who despises all things Christmas and the joyful residents of Whoville, where he later plans to sabotage their holiday celebrations just out of utter annoyance. The film received mixed reviews from critics upon release, with praise for Carrey's performance and the film's visual effects, while its dark humor and tone were criticized, which I can definitely see. It became the highest grossing film of 2000 domestically and the 6th highest grossing film of the year worldwide. Due to its massive popularity, it later became the 2nd highest grossing holiday film of all time, behind Home Alone, until it was later surpassed by the 2018 animated version of it. To this day, How the Grinch Stole Christmas is easily one of the most iconic holiday films of all time, as they usually play it on TV around the holiday season each year. During the 1990s, the Wayans Bros dominated the entertainment industry, starring in some of the funniest films and TV shows.
No, you did not just say the Wayans Bros. You mean the Wayans? The Wayans, my nigga. The Wayans. You said the Wayans. That ain't BB and CC, that's Sean and Marlon.
Solidifying their status as the next up-and-coming comedians of the time. In July of this year, Scary Movie was released and became one of the most popular films of 2000. Scary Movie is an American parody film directed by Keenen Ivory Wayans, as well as being written by Marlon.
Bro, I'm about to get mad right now, bro. You say Wayans one more goddamn time, boy. You say Wayans one more goddamn time, boy. You say Wayans one more goddamn time, boy.
And Sean Wayans, who both also star in the film, as well as many other big names. The story follows a group of teenagers who accidentally hit a man with their car, dump his body in a lake, and swear to secrecy of this never happening. A whole year later, someone wearing a Ghostface mask and robe begins hunting them down one by one. The film is a parody of multiple genres, including the horror, slasher, and mystery film genres that were really massive back in the day. Several 1990s films and TV shows are also spoofed, as the script primarily follows the plot of the popular slasher films Scream and I Know What You Did Last Summer. Some films and TV shows like Halloween, The Shining, Friday the 13th, The Usual Suspects, The Sixth Sense, The Blair Witch Project, The Matrix, and Buffy the Vampire Slayer were also parodied in some scenes, making it one of the standout films of the year. Scary Movie was definitely funny and all over the place. It's definitely a dated film where you can tell exactly what year this film came out. The film actually received mixed reviews from critics, with many finding the humor gross, crude, forced, and over the top. Although it has received more favorable reviews from audiences over the years, Scary Movie produced many successful sequels and is credited as one of, if not the best parody film of all time. Throughout the year, Walt Disney Animation Studios released their 39th and 40th animation films to great success. Dinosaur and The Emperor's New Groove were among some of the most anticipated film releases of the year, despite being overlooked by many Disney fans.
Dinosaur was boring, bro. That was a boring ass movie, bro. I ain't gonna hold you, bro.
Hear me and hear me good, nigga. I'm here to double down. That shit is a 2-pack of ass. The fuck are you talking about? That shit stinks.
Bro, I can't tell you how many times I done fell asleep to Dinosaur, bro. That movie had me falling asleep. I've never finished that movie a day in my life, bro. I don't know the ending to that movie because I always fall asleep during it. If you ever want to fall asleep to something, put Dinosaur in. I guarantee you fall asleep to that shit. But Emperor's New Groove, though. Emperor's New Groove was that shit, boy. Yo, this was my shit. I love this movie.
Surprisingly, Dinosaur became the highest grossing film of the two, making $349 million worldwide, later becoming the 5th highest grossing film of the year. Dinosaur is also the first film from Disney to be fully 3D animated, which is pretty cool at the time. The film was released on May 19th to generally positive reviews from critics, who praised the film's opening sequence, soundtrack, and animation, but criticized the story for its lack of originality. It's honestly pretty boring and forgettable in my opinion, but I do appreciate Disney for taking a risk and trying something different, even if I'm not a big fan of it. The Emperor's New Groove, on the other hand, was the second Disney film that was released towards the holiday season this year. The film included an ensemble voice cast featuring David Spade, John Goodman, Eartha Kitt, Patrick Warburton, and Wendy Malick, amongst many others. It received generally positive reviews from critics, but unfortunately underperformed at the box office compared to the very successful Disney Renaissance films released in the 1990s. Despite underperforming at the box office, the film has gained a cult following over the years and became the highest selling home media tape of 2001. And this was honestly one of my favorite movies growing up, as I still quote it here and there, like the whole pull the lever crunk. Like, that is one of my go-to lines. It's so funny. You just had to be there. To this day, The Emperor's New Groove is easily one of the funniest and underrated Disney films to ever exist.
Excellent. A few drops in his drink, then I'll propose a toast, and he will be dead before dessert.
Which is a real shame, because it's going to be delicious.
Hey, everybody hits their stride. You just hit yours 50 years ago. Whoa, no touchy. No touchy.
I got the thing.
No, don't.
Give it back.
Ha!
I think it's pretty safe to say that the biggest film release of 2000 was none other than the first installment of the X-Men franchise. Based on the Marvel comics of the same name, X-Men is an epic, action-packed superhero film that depicts a world where an unknown proportion of people are mutants, possessing superhuman powers that make them distrusted by normal humans. The story is actually loosely based on the events that took place during the Civil Rights Movement back in the 1960s, with Magneto and Charles Xavier somewhat representing leaders Martin Luther King Jr. and Malcolm X. The film features an ensemble cast consisting of Patrick Stewart as Professor Charles Xavier, Ian McKellen as Magneto, Halle Berry as Storm, Famke Janssen as Jean Grey, James Marsden as Cyclops, Rebecca Ramjan Stamos as Mystique, Ray Park as Toad, Anna Paquin as Rogue, Bruce Davison as Senator Robert Kelly, and Hugh Jackman as the Wolverine. Upon its initial release, X-Men received praise for its storytelling, character development, special effects, action sequences, and costuming, making it the most popular film release of the year. Thanks to the success of X-Men, the comic book and superhero genre really became mainstream as we would continue to witness more successful sequels, spin-offs, as well as more films from DC and Marvel that would go on to dominate the market just a few years later. Other major films that were released this year included Chicken Run, Bring It On, Final Destination.
I don't fuck with Chicken Run. That shit was kind of boring. A couple of these movies was boring, bro. I ain't gonna hold you, bro. A couple of these movies was boring, bro.
Destination, Requiem for a Dream, Mission Impossible 2, Coyote Ugly, Almost Famous, The Patriot, Memento, Billy Elliot, What Lies Beneath, Castaway, Remember the Titans, Meet the Parents, Charlie's Angels, Rugrats in Paris, Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, The Perfect Storm, Unbreakable, Road Trip, Love and Basketball, Me, Myself and Irene, Snatch, Big Mama's House, What Women Want, The Road to El Dorado, American Psycho, and Miss Congeniality, as well as many others. 2000 in television was a pretty interesting and eventful year from start to finish. Cable television was at its peak around this time, making watching TV just so fun and nostalgic. You just had to be there. There was just so much variety for everyone to enjoy, with some of the most popular shows that would go on to define the 2000s decade as a whole. This year, we saw a wide variety of genres on the small screen, including sitcoms, cartoons, action adventures, game shows, and reality shows, as well as many others, which, speaking of, Big Brother and Survivor were among some of the hottest new reality TV series that premiered this year. Both of these shows became pop culture phenomenons overnight, as well as gaining massive fandoms over the years. These shows are viewed by many as some of the best reality TV TV series ever created, with both of them still being on TV as of making this video, making them the longest running reality TV shows ever. Big Brother debuted this summer to rave reviews from fans and critics. The format of the series is viewed as a social experiment that requires house guests to interact with others who may have differing ideals, beliefs, and prejudices. Pretty simple, straightforward, and to the point. Basically putting a bunch of people that don't know each other in a house, having them deal with each other, which, you know, that sounds like a lot of fun. Survivor places a group of people in an isolated location where they must provide food, fire, and shelter for themselves. The contestants compete in challenges including testing their physical abilities like running, swimming, or their mental abilities like puzzles and endurance, challenges for rewards and immunity from elimination, all for a grand prize of $1 million. And this show would go on to inspire many other reality shows. Richard Hatch became the first official winner of the US version of the series, instantly shooting him into stardom, which further helped the legacy of the show. As of today, Survivor is arguably the most influential and popular reality television series ever created. Throughout the year, there were plenty of shows targeted towards a younger preschool demographic with a focus on educating children on various topics. Some of these shows included Clifford the Big Red Dog, Between the Lions, Corduroy, and Maggie and the Ferocious Beast, as well as many others. In August of this year, Nickelodeon debuted their newest series, Dora the Explorer. Dora the Explorer revolved around a young girl named Dora who's of Latin American origin, and her—
I ain't gonna lie, Dora was fire, but it was annoying at the same time. It would be like, where do you see the... It'd be like, where is the rope? Bitch, is right in front of you. That shit used to irk me about this show, bro. It was a good show, don't get me wrong. I mean, they teach you Spanish and all that. That was the only good thing you get out of it. You learn a couple of Spanish words, but for the most part, bruh, the shit be right there in front of you. Be like, where is the rope? Bitch, right in front of you. I be looking at that shit like, really, is y'all gonna play with my intelligence like that? But then again, I had to realize I'm like 6 years old at this point. I'm not a baby no more. I'm just looking at this shit like, bitch, is right in front of you. Get it? That shit used to irk me, bro. Swiper, no swiping. Swiper, no swiping. Swiper, no swiping. Oh man, fuck out of here.
Her best friend Boots the monkey. The show usually revolves around a problem or a goal presented to the characters at the start of the show, later going on a mission in order to achieve and resolve that goal. It also had a focus on teaching children Spanish, which helped the show stand out from other children's shows at the time. The show was also very interactive, teaching children problem-solving skills, manners, communication skills, critical thinking skills, and many others. The show was so popular that it spawned a spin-off television series, a sequel television series, a reboot, and a live-action feature film that's actually pretty funny in my opinion. I watched it during lockdown and I found myself laughing more than I should have as a grown adult. Dora the Explorer is considered by many to be the most influential and successful preschool show in recent memory. As of now, Dora has made over $15.8 billion in merchandise, making it one of the highest grossing media franchises ever.
She's got a point. She's an icon. She's a legend, and she is the moment. Now, come on now.
The most talked about show released this year was none other than Malcolm in the Middle. Premiering in January of this year, Malcolm in the Middle was a single camera comedy series that followed.
If only UPN would have picked this up, who knows where they'd be right now. UPN dropped the ball on a lot of shows, so if we be honest here, we talking about American Idol, Malcolm in the Middle. If UPN would have picked this and American Idol up, UPN would still be here right now, bro. I guarantee you, UPN would still be here right now if they just would have picked up these shows. But I'm happy with what they did for, you know, the culture. The culture. Yeah.
Follows a dysfunctional middle-class family starring Frankie Muniz as the lead role of Malcolm, who's also a child prodigy. This show was just peak Y2K and screams early 2000s from the editing style to the fashion choices, theme song, and overall aesthetic, making it an enjoyable yet nostalgic viewing experience. Jane Kaczmarek and Bryan Cranston played Malcolm's parents, Lois and Hal, with both honestly being the best characters in the series, especially Lois, who was one of the standout characters. That woman was just crazy. As of the first season, their delinquent oldest child, Francis, has been sent away to military school, while his brothers Reese and Dewey remain at the home with Malcolm and their parents. With Francis away, Malcolm becomes the middle child of the family for most of the show's run, hence the title. Typical plots revolve around the family's dysfunctional relationships and inability to fit into society, with Malcolm regularly breaking the fourth wall, speaking to the camera to make comments about his crazy family, as well as other situations that happened in real time. And this was really similar to shows like Sabrina the Teenage Witch and Saved by the Bell, where they would break character and like talk to the camera. Like, you know, the whole, you're probably wondering how I got here. You know, that is just such a 90s 90s trope that I miss in TV and film. But anyways, the series had a distinctive look and sound that relied heavily on elaborate post-production, including fast-cut editing, sound effects, musical inserts, the extensive use of locations, and the unusual camera styles, compositions, and effects, making it stand out from anything that was on TV at the time. This was also the era where we were starting to see less and less shows that featured your typical sitcom audience that was really popular in decades past. Malcolm in the Middle ended in 2006 with a total of 7 seasons and 151 episodes, making it one of the most popular television series of the 2000s decade and 21st century so far. Other popular TV shows that premiered this year included Even Stevens, CSI Crime Scene Investigations, Jackie Chan Adventures, Gilmore Girls, Curb Your Enthusiasm, Teacher's Pet, Inuyasha, Andromeda, Jack Arce, As Told by Ginger, The Weekenders, The District, Aqua Teen Hunger Force, Harvey Birdman, Attorney at Law, Static Shock, Girlfriends, and MTV Cribs, amongst many others.
As they say, is where the magic happens.
2000 was a pretty interesting and stacked year for mainstream music from start to finish, with some of the biggest singles, album releases, and artists that would go on to dominate the rest of the decade. We were just coming out of the 90s with many musical trends still lingering around, such as boy bands, girl groups, R&B crooners, hip-hop stars, rock icons, teen pop idols, divas, and the Latin explosion all seeing massive success this year. You just had to be there, as 2000 was a pretty solid yet exciting year for pop music.
Really
this was also around
music.
the time when the music industry was going through some odd changes, as websites like Napster and LimeWire were really affecting physical sales, as we were just entering the digital era. And in my opinion, 2000 was one of my favorite years of the 2000s decade, as I just feel like this year just perfectly encapsulates the Y2K aesthetic as a whole. Throughout the 90s, we saw the rise of many popular boy bands, including Boyz II Men, Jodeci, Next, Hanson, 98 Degrees, Westlife, Drew Hill, and the Backstreet Boys, amongst many others. The biggest boy band of this year was none other than NSYNC. With their catchy songs, colorful music videos, natural charm, charisma, and fun dance moves, Joey, Lance, JC, Chris, and Justin became the biggest boy group of the year 2000. On March 21st, the group released their highly anticipated third studio album, No Strings Attached, to favorable reviews. The album actually peaked at the #1 spot on top of the US Billboard 200 charts, with first week sales of 2.4 million copies, setting the record for 1 week sales in the country, a record that remained for 15 years until Adele surpassed the record with her iconic album 25 in 2015. No Strings Attached was a massive commercial success, where it quickly became the highest selling album of the year and would later go on to be the biggest album in terms of chart performance for the 2000s decade as a whole, according to Billboard. NSYNC would later go on a worldwide tour to support the album, where it would go on to become the second highest grossing tour of the year. And this was just peak teen pop TRL at its best, as NSYNC was just everywhere, from performing at award shows to being on every radio station to red carpet events and more. This album produced multiple chart toppers that became their signature hits, including songs like Bye Bye Bye, It's Gonna Be Me, and This I Promise You, amongst many other big hits that solidified their place as one of the biggest boy bands ever. Following the overnight commercial success of her debut album, Baby One More Time, released back in 1999, Britney Spears quickly released her follow-up sophomore album, Oops, I Did It Again, in the spring of 2000. Britney was just everywhere during this time, making her the ultimate it girl of pop music. Oops, I Did It Again was a massive commercial success worldwide, debuting at #1 in over 20 countries, making it one of the hottest albums of the year. In the United States, the album debuted at #1 on the Billboard 200 with first week sales of 1.3 million copies, holding the record for the fastest selling album by a female artist and the largest first week sales for a female album for 15 years, until being surpassed once again by Adele's 25 in 2015. With worldwide sales of over 20 million copies, it's one of the best-selling albums of all time, giving Britney her second Diamond certified album, making her the youngest artist to have multiple Diamond albums. This album is primarily a pop record that incorporates many other genres, including dance, teen pop, and R&B. To promote the album, she later went on a worldwide tour that became the highest-grossing tour of the year, as well as performing on several television shows and award ceremonies, including a controversial yet iconic performance at the 2000 MTV Video Music Awards, as well as many others. Some of the major singles from this album included Stronger, Lucky, Don't Let Me Be the Last to Know, and the title track, Oops, I Did It Again, which are all just pop classics. You just had to be there, as Britney Spears was the moment. On July 14th, 1999, Destiny's Child dropped their sophomore album, The Writings on the Wall, which became the group's last project to feature the original lineup. And by the year 2000, the group would undergo many lineup changes, getting rid of 2 original members, LaToya Luckett and Latavia Robertson, later being replaced by 2 new members, Farrah Franklin and Michelle Williams, as they were in the middle of an album cycle. This led to a media frenzy, lawsuits from the original members, and internal drama, which even led to a member quitting.
That's the last flight out of here? Yes, ma'am. You might have to go straight to the airport. I don't have no luggage. I'm rolling. But it's better for you to go home than not have luggage. No, it's not. It's not? Because where y'all coming out there? Well, somebody can send your luggage. But then I'm going to have to wait for 4 days before I get all my stuff. Well, it's either that or you gonna probably miss your flight.
Yeah, you could tell who didn't last long in the group. Besides the drama and controversy, Beyonce, Kelly, LaToya, Latavia, Farrah, and Michelle all had a pretty crazy and eventful year to say the least. Throughout the year, Destiny's Child was just everywhere, from TV interviews to the radio stations to every major award show, commercials, magazines, and red carpet events, making them one of the hottest groups of the year. Matthew had them girls working back then. The Writings on the Wall is widely considered to be Destiny's Child's breakthrough album that really launched all of the ladies to superstardom. Featuring an array of bubble sound effects, record scratches, beeps, clicks, and glitchy production, the album fit right in with the futuristic sound that was trending in R&B and pop music at the time. Bills, 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 Jumpin' Jumpin', Independent Women Part 1, and Say My Name were among some of the most popular songs of the year. Say My Name became the group's signature hit, where it peaked at the #1.
City Boys was down bad this year, boy. City Boys was down bad this year, dog. City Boys was down bad this year. They had No Scrubs, and they had Say My Name when no one is around. Then they had Pay My Bills, Pay All My Bills. I don't think that do. Nah, bruh, City Boys was down bad. We had, bruh, City Boys had to be down bad this year, bruh. 99 going into 2000, we was down bad, bruh. At 2000, we picked it back up, though. 2000, we was up, nigga. Oh, shit. We was back up in it. We was back up in this bitch for the 2000s, bruh.
One spot on the Billboard Hot 100 for a total of 3 weeks, making it one of the hottest and inescapable songs of the year. With worldwide sales of 13 million copies, The Writings on the Wall is one of the best-selling girl group albums and best-selling R&B albums of all time. Christina Aguilera was another major breakout artist around this time with the release of her self-titled debut album released back in the summer of 1999. By the turn of the new millennium, Christina was everywhere, quickly becoming a household name, making her one of the most popular artists during the Y2K era. Throughout the year, she released many chart toppers, a Christmas album, had multiple interviews, live televised performances, and even won her first Grammy Award as a new artist. You just had to be there, as she was just the next young superstar in music. Her debut album was a massive success, where it remains her highest selling album with over 14 million records sold worldwide. The album received positive reviews, with critics praising her vocal performance and technique. Primarily a dance pop and teen pop album, it also incorporates elements of bubblegum pop, R&B, soul, hip hop, as well as your typical 90s ballads. And her label was clearly trying to make her a Britney clone, as she was just the blueprint for white teen pop artists around this time.
Hi guys, so yes, I did that. And you would do it too for a check. I was an employee. And I was gonna get employee of the month, and nothing, period.
Yes, I know somebody in the comments is gonna school me, and I know she's half Ecuadorian, but you know, she's white passing. The album spawned 4 top 10 singles that were everywhere, including Genie in a Bottle, What a Girl Wants, and Come On Over Baby, All I Want Is You, which all topped the Billboard Hot 100 charts between 1999 and 2000. I Turn to You actually peaked at the #3 spot on the Hot 100 later that year, making it the only single from this album that didn't go to #1. Despite being seen as just another Britney clone at the time, Christina was able to later carve a lane for herself, where she became one of the most influential artists of the 21st century. Throughout the year, we witnessed the rise of many new artists in different genres, with some who would go on to dominate the 2000s decade. Some notable artists that debuted this year included Coldplay, Nelly, Linkin Park, Ludacris, Pink, Nelly Furtado, Carl Thomas, and Sisqó, as well as many others. One artist that really rose to prominence this year was none other than Eminem. Now, I already know I'm gonna get some comments of people who are like, he debuted in the 90s and he put out music in the 90s and 2000, that's not when he broke out. Y'all, I know this. I know.
Let me handle this. You better chill. You better lay low.
After releasing a few projects during the late 90s, Eminem signed with Dr. Dre's Aftermath Entertainment and subsequently achieved mainstream popularity in 1999 with the Slim Shady LP. Following the success of that, he released his highly anticipated third studio album, the Marshall Mathers LP, in May of 2000. The album features introspective lyricism reflecting Eminem's thoughts on his rise to fame, criticism of his music, and estrangement from his family. As a transgressive body of work, it incorporates hardcore hip-hop, satirical hip-hop, and horrorcore, as well as many other subgenres. With this album, Eminem continued to be a controversial figure amongst the general public, not just for being a white male rapper, but for other reasons which further propelled him to the forefront of American pop culture. Despite being a talented rapper, Eminem received a lot of criticism centered on his lyrics that were considered violent, homophobic, and even misogynistic at times. He even referenced Columbine in a few of his songs, which is just crazy. With some crazy lyrics like this, I just feel like Eminem perfectly encapsulates the Attitude Era from the Y2K years. There's actually a whole video on this topic on YouTube. I'm gonna insert insert it right here. He's really lucky he debuted back then because he would have gotten canceled had he came out in the 2010s with crazy lyrics like this. Future Second Lady Lynn Cheney criticized the lyrics at a United States Senate hearing as misogynistic and violent amongst women, while the Canadian government considered refusing Eminem's entry into the country, which is just crazy to me because times have definitely changed and artists are doing way worse than what he was doing back then. But I digress. Despite the controversies, his album received widespread acclaim from critics who praised Eminem's lyrical ability and considered the album to have emotional depth. The album spawned 3 hit singles, The Real Slim Shady, The Way I Am, and Stan, and features guest appearances from multiple artists including Snoop Dogg, Dr. Dre, and Dido, amongst many others. The Marshall Mathers LP has been included in numerous all-time lists and is widely regarded as Eminem's greatest album. As of making this video, it has sold over 25 million copies worldwide, making it one of the best-selling albums of all time, and is certified 12 times platinum and diamond by the RIAA. This album helped solidify Eminem as one of the greatest rappers of all time, where he would go on to dominate and become the highest-selling musical artist of the decade. Some of the biggest hits of the year included Try Again from Aaliyah, Kryptonite from 3 Doors Down, Breathe from Faith Hill, Maria Maria from Santana featuring the Product GMB, I Wanna Know from Joe, Case of the X from Maya, All the Small Things from Blink-182, I Knew I Loved You from Savage Garden, Everything You Want from Vertical Horizon, Music from Madonna, Show Me the Meaning of Being Lonely from the Backstreet Boys, I Try from Macy Gray, That's the Way It Is from Celine Dion, Doesn't Really Matter from Janet Jackson, Other Side from Red Hot Chili Peppers, The Next Episode from Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg, It's My Life from Bon Jovi, With Arms Wide Open from Creed, Back at One from Brian McKnight, There You Go from Pink, You Sang to Me from Mark Anthony, Thong Song from Sisqó, and He Wasn't Man Enough from Toni Braxton, amongst many other hits. Like I mentioned earlier, the year 2000 was a pretty eventful year from start to finish, with some of the biggest pop culture moments we have ever witnessed. Other major events that took place this year included the opening and closing of the Millennium Dome in London, the release of Pepsi Twist, the final publication of the Peanuts comic strip, Cartoon Network launching Boomerang, the launch of LimeWire, Razor scooters, flash drives hitting the market, Dawson's Creek making history with the first gay kiss, Millennium Force opening to the public as the tallest and fastest roller coaster in the world, then to be surpassed by Steel Dragon later that year, amongst many other things. So that was the year 2000, a pretty crazy year from start to finish. I really feel like 2000 was forgotten and overlooked. It's just one of those years that when people think of the 2000s decade, they think of like, 2001 for obvious reasons. If you ask people what's the most memorable year of the 2000s, they're most likely going to say 2001 because of, 9/11 or like 2004 or like 2007 or 2009, because those years had a lot more.
It's between 2001. Well, 2001 would probably be the most infamous one because of 9/11, but then you got You got 2003, Game Changer, 2004, 2005, just bangers on top of bangers for like 3 years straight. Then you got 07, which is like, I feel like that was the peak of the 2000s. And then after that, it just went, well, I wouldn't say it went, it just like, all right, bro, we ready to move on to the next decade. Let's see what the 10's talking about. Let's see what the 10's talking about. Because 08 and 09, it seemed like nobody was like gearing up to do anything. It seemed like they was waiting for like the new decade to come in before everybody started doing shit again. And yeah.
To offer, and they're just more memorable as a whole, which I get, but 2000 still had some fun things that happened. So what did you think of the year 2000? Do you remember this year? Were you born this year? Did you graduate high school in 2000? Did you get married this year? Did you start middle school? Did you get a PlayStation 2 for Christmas this year? What was your favorite TV show? What was your favorite film released this year? Were you a Britney fan? Were you into Eminem? Were you into Destiny's Child? Were you Team NSYNC or Backstreet Boys? What did you think of the whole Y2K Millennium Scare? Did you watch any of these award shows? And what did you think of the year 2000 as a whole? Let me know down below.
It was the change of something beautiful, which would be a decade of just pure greatness. Had some fucked up moments, but we can't act like we can't just look at the fucked up moments and say, we can't just look at them fucked up moments and make that be the down. We can't let 9/11 or Hurricane Katrina or a couple of other instances tear us down. Overall, the 2000s was a good time, bro. Good time, bro. Entertainment, music, everything was good, bro. And the year 2000 was a great kickoff. It was like a fun 2 years, and then 9/11 happened, and then the mood changed a little bit. But 2003, boy, we picked up like shit ain't happened, boy. We was all depressed going into 2002, and then 2002 ended, and we just went to 2003 and said, you know what, man, fuck that shit. We finna turn up, nigga. We in the new millennium. We not finna let the beginning of this new millennium be the outcome of our of an entire decade. Man, we finna have fun, man. We finna turn up, we finna have fun, man. Fuck that. It happened. It's tragic, but man, let's move on. And that's what we did. And we had a great time and a great decade. But anyway, so that's just gonna about do it for this one. I'll see y'all in the next video. Till then, bye.